Don't compromise, just use your eyes. Take a look inside the millennial mind. Millennial mind.
Welcome to the Millennial Mind. You might call us lazy and entitled, but it's time that you start to understand the millennial generation and break free of those negative stereotypes. It's time to get the knowledge you need to attract, retain, and engage the millennial generation, to take them from entitled to engaged. And who better to talk about this than two actual millennials themselves? I'm Garrett Wagner, your entrepreneurial CPA channel host, and I'm here with my fellow millennial, comedy star, the rapping CPA, Drew Carrick. So Drew, let's start talking about understanding the millennial mind, and especially in today's landscape, the information overload we're all under, what that means for millennials and what that means inside companies.
So I just got back from vacation, naturally still wearing my, Caribbean shirt.
Is that why you're rocking the pineapple shirt today?
Yep, absolutely. I have to bring home with me some of the culture that I find from the outside world.
So is that St. Lucia culture then?
It's island life. It's definitely island life.
Nice.
And the reason that we go on vacation, and we were talking about this earlier, is to kind of step away from the information overload that exists, in all these in companies, and there's so much information out there, and this is a big critical point for me personally, because I think that you can often get paralysis from analysis from information overload. But there's almost too much information out there to make a wrong decision, because there's a lot of things that can guide you in how to successfully run a business. And I think business leaders definitely need to be attentive to that sort of, to that stuff, and the fact that information is out there.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much information out there, and that's the big difference with us as a millennial generation. We're used to this information being out there and being freely accessible. It's not like back in the day where information was just in the big library. You had to go physically someplace to get it. You had to buy a book, and it took time to get there. Information is free, accessible everywhere. So how do we use that? And like you said, how do we not get overwhelmed by it? And what does that mean inside a company when there's suddenly so much information out there, not just on how to make a widget, but information on culture, strategy, vision, direction, all those things. And we're suddenly aware of all those things. No matter what we do in the company, even from a young age, we're aware of all these things are out there that we can do differently, better. And as millennials, we just want to be a part of those things. We want to be better tomorrow than we were today.
Yeah. And that's why I think there's really no excuse for leaders of businesses, with all the information that now exists out there, to not pay attention to the fact that we know what effects certain inputs to a company will have. If you do X, Y will then happen. And we're so aware of that. And anybody that's taken MBA classes and master's classes are familiar with, business ethics and business management models and the different ways. I think as millennials trying to pitch, something that I've realized is that it's important for us to do so and propose so in a way by which different generations and leadership will actually understand it and will be able to kind of comprehend it. There's a certain mentality that they like to see us present information in. And we can take all the information that we have and present it to them in that sort of manner. And it's also important for the leadership to understand that we're coming at them from a world and a universe where information is so easily accessible. We're taught so much, and we're so much more intelligent and knowledgeable than we were, just 50 years ago. And be willing to accept that information that is out there that we're trying to present, and it's substantiated by all the information, all the studies that exist.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you kind of pivoted to a unique point there on we've all got to work together with different generations and find ways to communicate with each other, because we all at the end of the day want to be more successful. We all want to win in our own way. So how do we come together as a team and build that success even further? And we've got to use all this knowledge. Like you said, there's this information overload. It takes a team to deal with all that information. How do we all share it, bring it together, process it, and present better ideas to the company? Because that's what we all want. We want everyone inside the company, the team, the organization to be thinking every day, how can I be better today than I was yesterday. And we've got to use all this information, work together, present those ideas. And we got to be open to listen to those ideas, no matter what our generation or age. It's a kind of a simple question. You know, Drew, like where you work, do you want to be better tomorrow than you were today? Or do you want to be worse tomorrow than you were today?
Yeah, of course. And, and it happens when there's a unified vision, unified understanding, and, generations from all sides and employees from all different areas and each different department is willing to kind of understand each other. And it's a whole nother point for a whole nother video discussion, but, every different area of the business, they're seeing it through their lens. Human resources of a company is seeing it from their lens. The consultants are seeing it from their lens. Accounting, finance is each seeing it from their own perspective. So depending on what industry you're specialized in or what area your business is a part of, there's all these different perspectives that you have to figure out. The people who are operational don't always understand the people who are financial. And however each individual is oriented and what their perspective is kind of important as you're taking in that information and then explaining it to each other, just the same way you would explain it to different generations. You also have to think cross-sectionally as well.
Because if you can do that, then you can actually grow your company, be more successful. You can get all generations working together towards that common goal and not just be overwhelmed by too much information in the world today. And when you're overwhelmed, everyone kind of retreats and falls back. And you end up being worse tomorrow than you were today. And that's not success. That's not winning in anybody's playbook. So with that, I hope you learned something today. If you got questions on this, as always, reach out to us. We love when we connect to the audience. We love those questions. So keep them coming. And when you're watching, if you have your own thoughts and opinions on the millennial mind, take part in our millennial survey. We've got hundreds of responses. Keep them coming. We want to analyze that data, build some results. There's a link below. I encourage you to take the test. That's it for our show today. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to click to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as always, we challenge you today to take action to change the world and invest in yourself.